Okay, folks, this is Fred Caney from founder and CEO of Valley Bigfoot and Inside Virginia Squatch. This evening, we're going to have a show called Views and basically bullshit about Bigfoot. As far as the views and news is what it actually is. We're going to talk about Bigfoot. We're going to talk about our sightings, and we're going to talk about the more or less term skeptics on why they whine so much about blah blah this and blah blah that. Okay, so I'm gonna take a second here out, and I'm gonna let Ryan take over. So Ryan, you take over, buddy.
Thanks, Chief. How you doing, Steve? Basically, what I want to talk about tonight, there's been a lot of things going on in the Bigfoot community. Um, Recently, I spoke with Rick Dyer and Stacy Brown. We did a podcast the other night, and I caught a lot of heat for it. Not so much for talking with Stacy, but for talking with Rick. Um, Basically, what I wanted to say is a few things. You know, a guy goes ahead and he hoaxes and does everything that he did in 2008. Then he gets straightened out and has some issues. What was it? I think last year, uh, where he said that whole thing going on with Hank and this, that, and the third. Um, Takes it all around the country, makes a bunch of money, and everybody's basically on his ass for it. Um, my view on the whole thing is, just because you talk to a guy or you're friends with a guy or whatever it may be, I don't think the whole Bigfoot community should hold you accountable um, just because you want to talk to them. Like I said, I like to get everybody's views. I like to see what they're doing in their area. I like to see what's going on, what techniques they're using. Are they being serious? Um, from what he said the other night, he seems serious. He seems like a lot of different things are changing in his life, maybe for the better. Um, Now, I'm not going on a limb. I'm not going to stick up for him. I'm not going that route because I don't want to be held accountable later. But I just feel the Bigfoot community, I posted it, I shared the podcast, and everybody basically wrapped me into the same context as, well, now you're hanging out with Rick Dyer, so you must be hoaxing. And I believe that that's ridiculous. Um, I don't understand why you can't be friends with somebody, or not even friends, associate with them, learn, see what's going on. I understand what he did was a bad thing. He took a lot of money from a lot of people. He was scandalous, um, and stuff like that. But he did come forward. There's things that he has done that people say set the.
Oh, we have um, Daniel Benoit. Hold on for a second here. Let me pop him up here. Hey, I'll jump on if you want. Yeah, I'll go ahead and bring him in. What the heck? Let's have some fun at this. Oh, come on, man. Okay.
Yeah, hope.
Continue on.
I kind of lost my train of thought there. Oh, I was just saying that I don't think there should be that many issues in the Bigfoot community. Um, just because you talk to a hoaxer or somebody that did hoax. Um, Obviously he's got funding, he's got backing. I don't know what he's doing. He's got modern equipment. He's got a lot of things going on that could actually help the community. I get the fact of what he did. He stole a lot of money. He did a lot, not steal. I shouldn't say steal. He swindled. That's probably the best word. He swindled it. Um, you know, he's all out. He is for himself. I will say that. That's one thing I'll say is Rick is for himself no matter what happens. He's a good dude. Like I said, family and all that. aside that he's a good dude there. As far as what he did, I could personally give a shit. I caught some, David Hall, a couple other guys in one of the communities. They were all running their mouth, and I just got sick and tired of it. Hey, Daniel,
Hey,
he probably
hey,
can't.
I thought you was in the sticks.
Hey, hold on one second.
Okay. But anyway, what was you saying, Ryan? Sorry for the interruption.
Uh, so anyway, today Rick shared a post and he commented my name and he was with I actually it was in a PM first and he said I'm gonna share something and he shares it and he says look who I'm with and he's with Tim Fasano, of all people, uh, which was crazy. I was like, why are they together? What the hell is going on? So I'm trying to get the news so I can give it to everybody, so I can see what's really going on. Not change the subject. I just got a message. Stacy Brown will be on. He said give him about 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. Anything from the other two?
I'm actually waiting on those two. They may still be in the field. We're the two we're waiting for would be Rick and Fasano. Uh, I will message him real quick.
All right, I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Uh,
Yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, I was out in the woods today. I was gonna stay out there, but I decided not to.
oh, you were gonna
Ah.
stay overnight.
Yeah, I was, but I said the heck with it. So I'm gonna wait. Yeah, I did some hunting this morning, and scouted around a little bit. Found a lot of fresh bear sign out there. That's for sure. Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
going to this. I just want to make sure that Rick has this. Um, you see
Yeah, the
anything?
shows.
Go ahead.
So is there anything?
No,
Yeah, go ahead, Fred.
uh, no, the show's called News and Views
Ah.
of our researchers. What we've seen, and all this bull crap, and then what the critics have got to say, or what kind of whining they're going to do. Just basically bull crap like that. So it's basically
Yeah.
it's basically a bullshitting session,
Not a
It is.
problem.
and we're going to be learning from it. Everybody.
Uh,
Shoot.
did you
Shoot.
see
I got.
anything? Yeah, so I was just gonna ask you. Did you see anything today?
Nothing. I mean, as far as tracks and stuff go, I found very fresh bear tracks in the camp, the location I've been camping in. I know there's been bears that have gone through there. I mean, a couple weekends ago, I've seen fresh bear scat in there. Yeah, today I rode in there and I was parked there and I always look around the camp and I saw the ground was tore up. I figure like sometimes turkeys do that. They're common for that. But then there was one track that stood out clear as day. I got pictures of it. I haven't uploaded them yet, but it was a bear in there. He's probably between a good 250 to 300-pound bear. Nice sized track. Um, I checked my trail cameras. I picked them up today, and not long ago I just got done looking at them. I didn't get nothing on there, nothing but uh, the limbs. The only thing that set them off was pretty much the wind and the limbs moving. Uh, didn't get nothing on that, like I said. I still have like over 35 hours of audio to go through on my audio recorder. I haven't even started that yet, so that should be interesting to see what might be on there. Because like I said, when I've been out there before, I've heard vocalizations out there. I've heard distant whoops and stuff. Um, Today, when I was going to get the one trail camera, it was actually dead silent for a little while, and I gave off a few tree knocks, a couple whoops, and I wasn't entirely sure, considering how silent it was out there. I'm pretty sure, but then again, I'm not sure. I could have sworn I heard a distant howl, like a whale type sound that I've heard before from giving a tree knock. But last when I've heard it before, it was a lot closer. This here was a little bit further distant. But yeah, that was pretty much about it. Like I said, oh, I did some. I did make a couple of videos today, and I'm gonna try to put them together. I was going to meaning to go into in this area, and I kind of wandered off the beaten path and went down off this ridge. And man, I tell you what, I found these little teepee type structures. I mean, mini ones. And you know, when you find one, it's okay, no big deal. But then I was finding a pattern of them going down the ridge, like zigzagging all the way down. And I was like, man, this is awesome. This is like, you know, I
Hey,
mean,
hey Daniel,
I was like, this means something. But
I
Ryan,
just want to cut him off real quick. Can you send
yeah, you're fine.
what's his name the link? He just asked me. The one with the dog. Rick.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Yeah, give me a second here.
He said it was the wrong link or something.
Oh, he's already. Okay.
Because I definitely don't have it. So what were you saying, Daniel?
I was this one area I went into today. Like I said, I walked off this beaten path. Well, it wasn't actually a path to begin with. It was somewhat of a clearing in the woods. Then it got thicker as I went back. So I decided to kind of break away from that area, and I ended up kind of going into a more, I guess, open area where it was more heavily wooded pines. And then I was kind of walking down a slight hill, going, part of a ridge going downhill, and I started coming across these little mini teepee structures, which it kind of blew my mind. It was actually exciting for some reason, and because there was after finding one, I noticed there was another one real close, but then as I walked further, there were several others, kind of like zigzagging going down. There was a pattern going on there. So I mean, I found it interesting. I mean, like I said, I got it on film. I took some filming on it, and I have to put the clippings together, and I'll probably upload that a little later. But I don't know. To me, I felt like they meant something. I just wasn't sure what to be in that kind of cluster. You know what I mean? Yeah, but then now there was some other tracks. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, bear tracks. I saw a couple other tracks, but they weren't fresh. They were older tracks. One, I believe, was a possible Sasquatch track. I mean, it was about a 13, 14-inch track. It could have been a large bear. I know there's large bears around here, but this one here displayed, if you look closely, it looked like it had the big toe, like a humanoid type toe and everything else. But the track was not as clear as the other ones I found. But I don't know. Once I show it on the video, maybe some of you guys might be able to make out some of it. But yeah, but besides that, that was pretty much about it. It was just been a cool, misty, rainy, damp day today, and but I enjoyed my time out there. So
yeah, how's the weather down your way, Richter? I mean, Rick.
Hey,
burning up hot.
God, I wish you. Yeah, it's raining up here in Virginia.
It's
yeah,
hot.
cool and damp.
Yeah. Hey, where's Fasano at?
I already left him.
Oh shoot, I wanted him on here too.
Yeah, Fasano's awesome, man. He's a good guy. He's a really good guy.
That's good. That's good. So
I
tell me.
actually sent him the link.
Oh, okay, cool. So, Rick, did y'all find anything when y'all was out snooping around out there in the swamps?
Absolutely nothing regarding Bigfoot, but we did find a big ass peacock.
Really?
Y'all found
Really? I'm talking about. I mean, this some bitch was huge.
I didn't think you had any wild peacocks down there.
Dude, I have video of it.
I lived in Lady Lake and I lived in Oklawaha, but of course, and I went out to the National Forest, but I really never saw. Of course, I wasn't in there long enough to, was it white or was it the natural color of a peacock?
It was the natural color of a peacock, and
Okay.
he let me get pretty damn close too.
I wanted to ask you, so what's the situation with your drone there? What kind is that?
It's a DJI Phantom 3. It's got the HD camera. It's a nice drone. It's a but I have a total of 6 drones, so I have a lot of different kinds. But the kind I brought with us today was the DJI 3. But I also have the DJI 4 that will be at my doorstep probably Monday morning, and I have DJI Phantom Vision 2 Plus, and then I have some cheap drones. But the best drones I've ever had was the DJI.
What I wanted to ask is, what kind of range do you get out of those? For height or distance, or can you get them in tight spaces? Because I noticed the one doesn't have covers like on the rotors.
Oh well, you really don't need covers on the rotors if you know how to fly really well. Like me, I have crashed enough to know where I can and can't go. Um, but the range without the extender, with just the factory open box, I would say you can program it to go a half a mile. With the extender, you can program it to go up to 5 miles. But it will never go as far as it would, like it wouldn't go somewhere and run out of battery and fall. If it senses that it wouldn't have enough to get back, then it would just turn around and come back.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
that's why I love the Phantom drones.
Uh, hey guys, do y'all think I ought to bring you think I ought to try to bring Justin Smayhigh on here, or you think I should wait for another show to do that? To bring him on here too to hear his everything we're talking about.
Well, why did he text you?
No, I was just curious. 'Cause it makes the show more interesting, Throw some extra pizzazz in there.
I know Rick and Justin were just together not too long ago, and they got that nice Ford truck stuck. Uh,
Several
Yeah, I
times.
heard. Yeah, I heard that was your fault too, man.
Let me tell you something, okay? They did tell me I wouldn't go in there if I was you. Uh, but the first time we was able to get unstuck by putting a piece of wood and tying it on the tire and
Yep.
flipping it up.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the second and third time we got stuck, we had to get a tow truck. And let me tell you something, tow trucks in California are like where we were was really old 4-wheel drive tow trucks that had to go a mile inside the wood, deep snow, and then pull us out.
really?
Cool. Cool. All right. I see we have Stacy here. Stacy.
What up, Ray?
Uh, hey man, how you doing?
Oh.
Okay. How's your researching going? And did you go out today and see anything, or are you just farting around?
Nah, man, I got back in town, hung out with my kids a bit. I think we've spent the last 20 days, we've done about 9 days, so just about half. But we did a lot of work over in Jennings State Forest over in Jacksonville over the last week or so. Had some issues with the law there because they're fucking stupid. Apparently, you can't be in the goddamn state forest after dark, which is bullshit.
Yeah, that
Uh,
is.
and the dude's fucking. I don't know. I don't know what their deal is, but I'm trying to secure like a special use permit because right now I'm having people drop me off and come back and pick me up in the morning.
Oh,
Yeah, there is. I know here in Virginia, the state park forest, apart from the national forest, you could get obtain, you know, camping permits and stuff like that, and to stay overnight. You're allowed to stay up to 3 nights in the state forest up here. I know. I'm sure it's different down there, but
Yeah, you can
yeah, you have
camp
to.
down there. You can camp in the state forest, but you can't leave the fucking campground.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
cross shit, dude.
that.
It's just that
That's
state forest in
crazy.
particular. It's not really like all state forest in Florida. The one here by my house, Apalachicola. Well, I guess that's a national forest. You can be out there any fucking time you want.
Yeah, that's the best one.
You know.
Well, yeah. All
Is
right.
there
Well,
Go ahead.
let me ask you this. On the news and views, what is your view on skeptics and their whining so much? What's your opinion on it? And how would you think about it?
Dude, they're whining.
Yeah.
I mean, really, what do they have that we've given them? You know, I mean, we can't change their mind. They're fucking right. Besides visually seeing one, we have no fucking proof. The video that we got, it only proved it to me and my dad. It's not 100% proof to anybody but us. I mean, people may believe it. People may think it's bullshit. And they got, I guess, the people that think it's bullshit probably got more right because there's never been fucking proof of Bigfoot put
Wait,
forward
wait,
besides a
wait.
bunch of fucking crazy stories.
We have Hank. Right, Rick?
I forgot. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck, what am I doing? Fucking forgot.
Okay. Cool. All right. Okay. Now, Rick, what's your opinion on whiners and all that stuff? I mean, just your actions, your opinion, your way you think on all these whiners, not just on you, but in the Bigfoot world in general.
I think he froze.
Oh, Jesus, crickets. All right, Ryan, take it away.
Yeah, that's
Question
cool.
one.
You said that I had a question for Stacy. I was going to ask him, what is their reasoning that they're letting you into one state park but not another state park after dark? Well, we have DEC in New York, which is Department of Environmental Conservation, so yours is probably different. But did they give you a reason as to why certain parks are able to be camped in overnight or stay, overnight, and certain ones aren't?
Oh, yeah. Fucking Yankees, cuz. Yankees come down there and here and are fucking stupid, and so they get lost.
Yeah, I can see that.
Really?
I mean, like, for real, it's a whole different world down here. These fuckers come down here think it's just some jolly time parting around in the fucking woods, and they get snake bit, and then, they're way out in the middle of the goddamn woods. Everybody's got to go get them, but it depends on where you're at, what park, whether it's state run or federal run. But the majority of if it was just these fucking dudes that are natives to the state, they wouldn't give a flying shit because we're not calling them.
Right.
We don't want them fucking with us. We're good. This is what we do. This is where we grew up. We ain't got no choice.
Yeah.
Uh,
But the way I see it,
It would
you
be
know,
like me trying to survive in the fucking snow, something I know nothing about.
ah, okay, cool. Okay,
If that makes
Rick.
Well, hey.
Okay, okay.
Look, every time I receive a call, every time a call comes in,
You freeze up. He just froze up
Like,
again.
yep, he sure did.
he sure
that's what
did.
happens
You
to
better.
coffee.
Oh, anyway, what I was saying, Stacy, is I got all we every year. My forest is George Washington National Forest in Virginia,
Yeah.
and every year I have Ohio, Maryland, New York, and Pennsylvania come down here, and they bring their Winnebagos. They take up all the spots, but the worst part is I'm in the woods one morning, right up in my tree stand. I see about five guys about 200 yards over on the trail. Well, I flash my flashlight off and on to let them know I'm there. They flash back. So they go down 100 yards in front of me and line up right smack in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm fucking shooting.
so what I did is I seen a doe one day. It was doe day, and I seen a doe, and it was in front of them, and I just emptied my chamber, scared the
Hell
deer
yeah.
away. And they got pissed off I said, dude, you're in my neck of the woods. You're not New York. You know,
Yep.
you're a Yankee. You don't come down here and take over our national forest and everything. You know, so it's kind of weird.
There
But
you go. You got Rick
Well,
back.
see, not only do we get Yankees, but we get like German fucking tourists. And okay, so one of my guys was casting some tracks in Mayaca State River Park yesterday. Okay,
yeah,
and I'm gonna tell you a funny story about that. I've yet to see the tracks personally, but uh, for some fucking reason, the dude's new. He decided to leave the tracks and walk some. He had to go somewhere, go back to his truck or something. Well, when he come back, there was two motherfuckers from France digging his tracks up.
okay,
You know,
Wow.
it was like they didn't know what it was, and so we have a bunch of fucking tourists that they think, oh, we're gonna go out here and just do our thing, and you can't just do that. You know, you have to realize this is you fucking die out here if you ain't right. You know,
yeah,
if you ain't got your shit up, you ain't got plenty of water, and you don't know what the fuck you're doing. But anyways, in that Mayaca River State Forest, there's there's a fucking naked dude that lives in there. And the guy's like, run up on him before. And so a lot of people think they're finding tracks in that state park that it's Bigfoot, but there's this guy named fucking Dwayne out there, and he's a millionaire. And he pays somebody $40,000 a year to drop him off supplies, and he don't come out the fucking woods. He's been in there for 4 years that I know of. And he's butt ass naked running around, and so, I mean, he survives pretty much on the land. So, obviously a Bigfoot could live because he's a fucking big dude, and
yeah.
but I think that accounts for a lot of the fucking BFRO reports and shit that come out of that park. It's just simply Dwayne. They're running around chasing this fucking naked, crazy motherfucker.
Huh. That's interesting. All right,
The
Rick.
park knows about him. The park won't do shit. They can't catch him, so it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, Rick.
Yes, sir.
What is your opinion on the naysayers, the skeptics? I mean, and I'm talking about all skeptics. I'm not talking about just for you in general. I'm talking about your opinion on the whole Bigfoot thing, on the skeptics ragging us, the people we've seen the squatches and everything before,
Well, partly, I think I would agree with Stacy. I mean, no one has ever really brought anything to the table that has been made public that to say, hey, it's real. They are outside looking in. Now, these are for the regular skeptics, okay? Outside looking in, we're chasing a hairy man that science says don't exist around the woods of America. And they're laughing at that. But they never had an experience. And that experience is worth its weight in gold to me, or
You
to
tell
you,
them,
or to Stacy, or to whoever.
yeah,
But you have the naysayers that say they're
How many?
Bigfoot people. Huh?
How many Bigfoot you find?
I found a bunch of Bigfoots.
That's a good answer.
oh, wow.
Yeah, well, see, this truck attracts a bunch of attention. Like, I was stopped like 100 times today.
I wonder why.
But the thing is, you have the people in the Bigfoot community that are skeptics. These people don't get out and go in the woods. These people will sit behind their computer and badmouth you and talk shit about everything you got because they don't believe in Bigfoot and they're just miserable people. Period.
Yeah, I can agree
And
with that.
and people that are a little bit popular in the Bigfoot world, they hate them worse. And nothing that I can do or nothing that anyone can do will please anyone. Or, I mean, will please everybody. And that's sad. So I guess we're just going to keep moving on. and put up with the naysayers and put up with the skeptics. There are always going to be skeptics. There are always going to be naysayers, and I'm always going to look better than Stacey Brown.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, Steve, you got any questions for either of our guests?
No, I got no questions.
Okay.
I do.
Okay, Daniel, go ahead.
Since
No, that's Ryan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
since we got two of Florida's best here, I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think is the best equipment that we have at our disposal today to attempt to find a Sasquatch, and why?
Let's start with
Well,
you,
we
Stacy.
got-
Let's start with you, Stacy.
Start with me? Hold
Yeah.
on, I gotta find my goddamn lighter. I can't think.
Okay,
if I got
you.
a cigarette in
All
my
right,
mouth.
you find it. I'll go to
I
Rick.
just
Rick,
had
can
the
you answer that
motherfucking
question?
thing. But I guess the best
Boots on the ground.
Yeah, probably in my fucking pocket. I guess the best resource we're gonna have is just like time, just patience. That's something you got to have. It's not gonna happen overnight. Trust me on that. Fuck. But yeah, man. I mean, if you just have to have the time, the patience to get into the fucking woods, and through a few different ventures, I funded my fucking research to where I don't have to work. Kind of got like a what do they call a passive income,
Yeah.
where you kind of the money for other people and then they make you money. They make their not. So it keeps me in the woods a lot, and that's all I'm doing. I mean, just gotta keep at it, and dude, I've got every piece of equipment you can have, and when it comes to it, it's you're always fucking. If something's going to go wrong, it will, or if something can go wrong, it will.
Cool.
I see that. I see that. Like Rick likes his drone, so that's his answer. Boots on the ground.
Well, the thing is that boots on the ground is always going to be number one. I met a hunter today that said, "Oh, I've been out in the woods all my life and I've never seen a Bigfoot." And I say, "Hey, have you ever been looking for a Bigfoot?" "Well, no." I said, "Well, I guarantee you
Exactly.
one has seen you." And but as far as equipment, I love drones. Drones is going to be the future of Bigfoot hunting. And if you don't have a drone, then people should get drones because you can go up to 3 miles away from you from air and see exactly what's going on. And people say, well, you can't see through the treetops. Yes, you can. I proved that today because that's what Fasano said. Well, you can't see through the treetops. I said, well, hold on a second. I flew it up. I went about a mile down, and I pointed the camera towards the ground, clear as day. You can see through the treetops.
Interesting.
Do you is that compatible with a FLIR to put on it, or does
Yes.
it have one?
Actually, they make a FLIR to put on this thing. And they won't sell you just the FLIR. They want to sell you the whole drone with the FLIR system.
Gotcha.
And that's what I'm eventually going to have to get. I'm trying to wait for a FLIR camera that I can just put on the drones I already have.
Yeah.
But they're trying to sell us a drone, which is a version 2 drone with the FLIR for $2,900, which isn't bad, but I would rather have the version 4 with the FLIR.
How much, just off the top of your head, how much is a FLIR, like the complete system they want to sell you? What is the average price of those kinds if I decide I wanted to get one?
$3,000 is $2,995.
Damn, ain't bad, man.
That's the FLIR setup you're saying?
That's the whole FLIR setup, the screen, the remote control, the copter, and like 4 batteries. And these batteries last around 30 minutes, so it's really good.
That's what I was going to ask. Another question I had for you and Stacy is, what was your I don't know who's had encounters and who hasn't, but what was your closest encounter with a Sasquatch, and where did it happen? We can start with Stacy.
Oh, I guess that would be like my first encounter. You know, with the one me and my dad filmed, I really didn't know what the fuck was going on. He was the only one that had the FLIR, so it kind of wasn't the same for me. But you know, the first encounter I had, right here in North Florida, you may have seen on Bigfoot, the Bridges property, and that's where I do the majority of my research. But the thing actually pressed the top of the tent down. I woke up, my buddy screaming. I mean, it had been there all night, and so yeah, we slept in the tent together that night, fucking scared. But it pressed it. I woke up to him screaming, and the tent was like a few inches from my face, and then it just kind of like, you know, it let go of it. It broke the poles, and then the thing ran off. And when it ran off, it was on 2 feet. You know, it was like boom, 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 boom. And that's what really got me started. And I guess that was my closest encounter. You know.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: have you ever noticed when a Squatch takes a step? Have you ever counted how long it takes in between each step?
No. You know, pretty much the way I've noticed is they're not ever. Hold on. Never mind. I thought my god Dickens was out. They move from like cover to cover. It's very, you know, very controlled. They're not just fucking walking through the woods.
Yeah, I know.
For the most part, you know, they're going from one bit of concealment to the next. That's why I have my doubts with the Patterson Gimlin film. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. And I fucking done this a lot. I probably have done more Bigfoot research in my life than fucking goddamn Bob Gimlin and all
Rick
those
Dyer.
old fuckers combined. You know, so and Sasquatch just doesn't walk out through the fucking open. If they did, this would be done. You know what I mean? Do it. They're not going to get into a situation where they're making themselves vulnerable because they know about the hunters. They know we hunt. They know we have guns. And it's just not their MO. I wish it was. I wish I would have been there when fucking Patty walked her fat ass out in front of everybody, because it would have been a done deal. You know, especially if you got guns. So why didn't you shoot it?
Then you would have shot Bob Hieronymus.
Well, that's why they didn't shoot it, because they wanted to kill him.
All right, okay, Rick. What is your?
Don't go and film a fucking Bigfoot.
Yeah. All right, Rick. What is your answer to what Ryan asked Stacy? What's your comment to it?
Well, the question with like how far is the step? I think it depends on how big the Bigfoot is, or is it a skunk ape, or is it a Bigfoot, or what age is it? I think it depends a lot on there. But but the question about my sighting, I only had one, and that was September 6th of 2012, and that's it. And y'all all know about that. So.
Is that kind of what drove you to be serious now? Like, on a serious note?
Oh, what's that?
Having that encounter?
That encounter, look, I have fudged and lied about a lot of things that happened after that encounter, but that encounter happened. And if people don't believe me, I don't care. That is good for them, and we can still be friends, and we can still talk, and we can still hang out, we can still be buddies. But that happened.
How
And
did it affect you when you saw it for the first time?
uh, well, it after I fired those two shots, I was just just electrified, and money signs went through my head, along with, "Oh my God, did I just shoot a guy in a suit?" And
Yeah, that
even
rings a
though
bell.
that, uh, like, even if you know that it's a Bigfoot 100%, it will still cross your mind. Oh hell, did I just shoot a person in a suit?
Yeah, that would do it. You got any questions, Daniel?
I had one question for Stacy.
Okay.
Stacy, did you ever apologize to Rick for the comment about his hat?
What's
Holy,
to apologize for? He knows
I don't know if they
gay
heard me.
just like I do. Shit.
holy hell,
Can't apologize
Stacy!
for the truth.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go buy a hat for Stacy. For Stacy, okay? And
Autograph.
and and yes, I will put an autograph
It's
picture and I
actually a
will autograph the hat.
felony offense if I put this beautiful hair in a hat.
Oh my God, I heard everything now.
Lucky, I will
You've
take
been
that.
Well,
I will take that.
you've been on the
Stacy.
stage too long, Stacy.
Rick, you need to have a hat specially designed. Yeah, you need to have a hat
Stacy.
specially designed just like your truck, Rick, and then send it to him.
I would like to have Stacy in my truck. Not that way though.
Hey, it's
didn't
gonna happen
sound
soon.
good.
It'll happen soon. I'll come down next week. I got a day off.
That didn't sound good. I think I had a Richter moment.
Oh.
Oh, hell.
Uh-oh.
Y'all,
Um,
somebody better laugh because I don't want to be the only one laughing at that shit.
I got another question for both you guys, since you're both in Florida and everything. Do you get structures down there, and what is your view on structures?
I think structures are bullshit. I think footprints are bullshit. And the reason I say that is because it could be faked.
Okay. What about
And
you, Stace?
Regardless of
and
where
I
you
have run
find them.
across I have run across structures and I have run across prints, but I really pay no mind to them because those can be faked, and that's my opinion on those.
Well, let me fire back on that one there. Okay, I'm an arborist, and I know the different textures of every wood in the United States because I worked for Aspen. I had to study that crap to do it. And certain trees you can bend and break and twist, but there's like oak trees. You got the red oak, black oak, white oaks. It takes for a tree this big around. It takes an exceptionally amount of strength just to you can bend it, but to take and snap it and twist it, it takes a big hand and it takes a considerable amount of strength. Now, I admit, some trees you can do it with two people or three people. Me and Daniel has got some kids on video taking a tree this big around, but it took all three of them to snap it down just to get it on the ground.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
was that was up behind your area there.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
caught him on my trail camera up there
yeah, yeah. So I agree with you to
when
a
I was trying to
point.
look for Bigfoot.
Yeah, yeah. But I agree with you to a point on that. But the other half, I got to disagree because it does take a considerable amount of strength to bend, snap, and twist a hardwood. So yeah, that can go either way on that one.
Well, that's why I need you, so you can help me and teach me new things.
Well, I'm here to help, man. I mean, I would say, well, pay my way down there and I'll do it. But I'm not
Or
like that.
better yet, he's got the money. He can come up here. Hey, he can come up here. He's got the money. I don't know about time, but Rick's got the money.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah. But what people don't, but Rick, what people don't
Hey,
realize, you know,
now go ahead.
what people don't realize is every structure that a squatch, that you know that a squatch does, is information on like directional signs, X's, you know, twists a certain way, little
I'll be
trees.
back soon, y'all.
Okay, where are you going?
All right.
Dang it. But yeah, I mean,
Well,
like I say, you know, uh, I use the information from the structures that they make, and that teaches you. And I've been doing this since '81, you know, and I've learned a hell of a lot, you know. But yet I'm still learning. Every time I see a structure, I learn something new. I tell people, look at that structure, touch it, feel it, put yourself in that squatch's place. Bend that tree, twist it, snap it in a directional, and look at it. And when you do that and you look in that same direction, you'll start seeing trees similar like that going all in a straight line or going up and going left or right or whatever, you know. I tell people that, you know, and I say that's one way. I mean, that's me. That's the way I see it. Now, people might see it differently, you know, other places, you know.
What do you think about that, Stacy? What do you think about structures and footprints? Oh, well, not so much footprints, but the structure situation.
Well, you know, I find them. Okay, I got about 12 acres here. I don't find them here. Okay,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
so I do find them though in the Bigfoot, or the Bigfoot spot or my location. What they mean, I have no fucking clue, dude. I can't really pinpoint it down to anything. You have to give a lot of weight to like bears. We have a jaguar on the property that we're trying to get a fucking photo of now, which is we've seen the damn thing 3 times. Game cam saved our lives.
Is that the
But
black one?
black, it's the fucking prettiest cat of black, and it's got some like blacker spots on it. How
Yeah.
the fuck it got to Florida? I guess
yeah.
it migrated. They said they follow armadillos, is what the biologist told me.
Oh, okay.
The cat's fucking huge. But anyways, I mean, there's a lot of things that can break the top of a tree. We don't have snowfall down here, so that's not really a factor as to where like New York, up where you're at. I think you'll get some snow up that way.
Yeah.
A ton.
There's a lot of different things that could cause it. I know the Indians now, they would make like directional markers with trees. Our place in Jennings, we have it's like an Indian tree, the way it was formed, you know.
Yeah.
So maybe they're doing something like that. But you know, I'm not really educated enough, I guess, to make a decision on
Well,
what
shit.
I don't know what the fuck they mean. I do find them because you don't. So if they were a naturally occurring thing, I would find them on this 12 acres that I live on. But I don't.
Right.
So you know, there's something to them. But what it is, I can't tell you.
Have
Yeah.
you ever yeah, when you found them, have you ever followed them? And if you followed them, have you ever like found something else by following them?
Nope. In Bluff Creek on Bigfoot Bounty, me and David Lauer found about 50 tracks.
Wow.
Okay. And it was going up a little like mountainside, like a goat trail kind of thing. And there were stick breaks all along the way. And we kept following the tracks, not the stick breaks, but the stick breaks, the limb breaks and shit were along that path, which led back to a little like structure, and there were 2 small handprints in it. Now, the ranger there had told me that nobody had been up on that hill in years, that mountain that we was on. And, you know, Spike kind of dropped the ball on that because if there was any real evidence found on that show, that was it. You know, they didn't know what to fucking do with it, and they won't turn the footage loose so I can put it out. It was probably one of the most significant things I ever found, and they completely dropped the ball on it. Like, they've never found anything like that on Finding Bigfoot. The only fucking best evidence they had was our footage, and the evidence is called, or the show's called Best Evidence Yet. And that's
Right.
sad because they haven't found jack shit and then you go and actually do it on a camera crew, so they know you're not fucking bullshit, and you've got 3 other people there that, you know, won't let you show, and there's federal fucking rules against it,
Yeah.
that you can't cheat, and then they drop the ball. They just don't really show it because they didn't know what the fuck they were doing with that TV show.
They still don't, the way I see it.
Yeah, no doubt, dude.
Well, I also, you know, you talk about Bluff Creek quite a bit there because you guys had your whole situation going on over there. You obviously know who Steven Strufer is. Who he owns the Bigfoot bookstore, yada yada. They have their own project going down
The
in Bluff.
bug-eyed dude, the dude looks like a lemur.
Yeah, yeah.
Not good with names.
Right.
Bush baby.
Well, they've got their own research going on down there in Bluff Creek, and I'm trying to figure out why do you think, what would be your opinion, why they're not getting any type of evidence upon, you know, I think they have something like 30 or 50 game cameras out, you know, all kinds of things going on. When you go down there and it's for a show and you're able to get, you know, 50, you know, foot tracks or whatever's going on, why do you think that they're not getting any evidence?
Well, I mean, the dude owns a fucking bookstore, cuz. It's not like he's got any skill set whatsoever. I don't know of anybody really on that team that has any type of skill set. No type of tracking. He's you know, no kind of anything. So I guess the question would be, because they capture animals, from what I understand, on their game cam. They get pictures every now and then, but when they're if
Yeah,
they
I
do
seen
night,
that.
if they do night research, a big if, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
You know, how many animals are they running into when they're on the ground? I'm gonna fucking guess next to none. You know, because what they're doing, from what I understand, is focusing right around that film site and hoping fucking Elvis Presley shows back up again, and it's not going to happen. You have to get away from the areas that are hard to access, and from the looks of those guys, I've met most of them. They're not going into those places because simply when we followed those tracks, bro, the only thing that stopped us is the tracks went up a fucking slate hill, and we didn't have the ropes to get up because we just couldn't do it. But climbing up the hill, we walked down the creek and we looked for a big, like, game trail coming down to the creek, and there was just this fucking huge slide, and we had to crawl literally on our hands and knees up this fucking hill. So I would say, you know, maybe you need to get away from the area where you're tromping around, and then it's all about scent control once you do that. How much are you actually handling these game cams? You know, are you leaving them in an environment where you fuck constantly, or some dumb shit like that? Something that's, because the Bigfoots know the surroundings. They're not traveling through uncharted territory. They've been traveling these fucking trails and shit since they were born.
Yeah.
Their children will do the same exact thing. So when something's out of place, you're gonna fucking look at it. When you get a weird smell, when you get a human smell, if you don't think they don't know what humans smell like, you know, I fucking feel bad for you. But your human scent will stay on that plastic. That plastic smells. You know, and just based on what the hog dogs do, how good their smell is, and they're just some regular old fucking cur dogs. Um, you know, a Bigfoot would have to, you know, his senses could be so much greater than that, and a simple.
He muted himself back.
Something that we may not pick up, could fucking definitely throw them off and make them avoid. Now, do they hear the game cams? I'm assuming they do. You know, but that's that's
Yeah, you've been talking about game cams a lot. Is there a certain type of game cam that you actually prefer? I think he lost the.
Yeah, his connection was kind of weak. I could tell he was going in and out on my end. Huh.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's interesting to know because I didn't know that they found 50 tracks. up in that area. Like you said, they held the evidence back, and that's got to be hard, for a researcher for that to happen to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
when you were asking about Steve and Strooper, him and Jamie, I forget the guy Jamie's last name, but I
Jamie
know.
Wayne.
Okay, yeah, right. Now I know they kind of work together a lot as a team, and I've seen some of the footage and stuff they collect off their shield cameras. The only time I got to see this, it was I was watching one of Richter's shows, and Jamie Wayne was well, both him and Steven were guests on there, and they were part of the show, and they were talking about their research and what they are doing. And yeah, a lot of the footage they got off of trail cam videos and photos were a lot of known wildlife. Like they had mountain lions, deer, bear, etc., whatever. So I mean, yeah, they're collecting, a lot
Well,
of
they did.
wildlife, which is pretty good because I mean, we know those animals are out there. I mean, they're here too. So
I know they
um,
did find something that was thought to be extinct. It was like a ringtail, or
yeah, it's a very yeah. I can't
I
remember
can't.
the name of it.
Yeah, I
It
did see that, and they
it looked
contributed to
like
wildlife
yeah.
conservation.
They caught
Ooh,
it while it
right.
was running across some rocks. It was
What was that?
trying to. It looked like almost like a fox in a small, weird looking fox in a way.
Yeah,
Oh,
Or
they
I mean,
it
kind
was
of
the
looked like
ring.
a kind of looked like a cat to me.
Yeah, it was ringtail
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
I think we got Stacy back. I was gonna ask him what we're talking about game cams a lot. Is there a certain type of game cam that you prefer? Because you were saying that some make noise. I mean, is there certain types you use, and why do you use those?
I actually, my system, now I have probably about 20 game cams that I do not deploy hardly at all. I put some up this week to see if there's any people coming through the area that I'm in. I'm trying to see the human traffic, before I start considering Bigfoot and things of that nature. But the game cam that I have is a little bitty shotgun camera, about big around as a quarter and a little bit shorter than a cigarette. And what I do is I put it up in the tree, and it runs all the way down to a little box I've got, like a toolbox, where there's an inverter in it, a battery, and a DVR. And the battery's hooked to a solar panel that I put in the top of the tree, and then the components, the parts that are going to make noise and shit, I bury, or I'll put a ways off, because I can run as much wire as I want to it. And this has no, it doesn't at all time records when motion comes up. So none of that stuff's in that box like on my Reconics. My Reconics, they're big game cams. So, when you walk by, you've got all your parts, your batteries, uh, your motion detector, your fucking camera, all right there within one box. It's gonna make some noise, and mine's kind of spread out. I get a lot better results that way. The animals are not looking directly at my game when the camera takes a picture. So I
Right.
think the noise factor is chilled out there. And for the most part, when I put game cams out, I'll literally go leave them in the woods for about a week before I do it, and let them get that smell. And then I handle them with gloves. They go in a plastic bag. We're really conscious of contamination that way.
How high are you setting them up
Because scent
in the tree?
control, it has to be. What's that?
Like how high are you putting them up in the tree? You said you put them way up there.
Usually, a lot of the times, we're gonna look for the best spot to disguise them. So we'll run some that are right on the ground, ground level down in these palmettos. But we like to put them up in a tree facing. When he's walking through the woods in Florida, is looking a lot at the ground for the snakes, and then he's not really looking up, and that's the thing a lot of Bigfooters fail to do is they're looking in their view of sight, their line of sight around them, which is head level. You know, we don't go around looking up in the trees. It's just not part of our nature. It's not something we pay attention to. So I like to put my game cams in the tops of the trees, pointing down towards the trail or whatever I'm watching.
Yeah, it sounds right. Now you said with the noise, what do you believe about infrasound? Do you believe that they can pick it up, that they give it off? Uh, you hear a lot of talk about that in the Bigfoot world.
Hey, you hear a lot of talk about a bunch of bullshit, and for people to make these claims of, oh, they use infrasound or they can see infrared lighting, what the fuck are they basing it on? I mean,
Yeah.
you can't make that valid argument. You don't know. In the footage that me and my dad got, once again, it only proved it 100% to me and him. It didn't prove it to you, didn't prove it to nobody else, and that's fine. I know now, and so I know I'm not chasing a fucking my tail in the woods. I know I'm not wasting my time.
Yeah.
They are out there, but in that video, we were in the pitch black, and that thing is peeking around the corner, looking at us as if we can see as good as it can. Why would
Wow.
it think any different?
Mm.
Why would it think any different? Why would it think, oh, these humans can't see in the dark as good as me? They have nothing to base that on. They're thinking everything in the forest sees as good as they do. So that was the one dead giveaway we got from the footage. Whether they can get infrasound off or see IR light, there's no real basis to put on that. A lot of people claim game cameras don't work. Okay, well, first of all, there's not a lot of fucking Bigfoots left in the fucking country. I'll never believe it. Meldrum's got some numbers. I've talked to these people about it, Moneymaker and all my other friends, and they have this really high number of like 15,000 or some shit like that. Well, 15,000, I believe there would be one caught on game camera, but if you're looking more around the lines of like 500 to 1,000, I think you then you as so many square miles you got. Once again, these people are not going way out into the fucking woods. They're not using scent control. They're not going to great lengths, to get the pictures they need. I did see. I know that the game cameras do work because I have actually seen a real game camera picture of a Bigfoot. A buddy of mine showed it to me. I won't drop his name. He's very well known and very well respected. It came out of Oklahoma. It caught like the right armpit, breast area, chest area. It was real as fuck. I mean, the thing's literally like 3-4 foot from the camera, and that's the thing. These people, your money makers, your different bigger players in the game, they're holding on to shit.
Yeah.
A lot of them know
Now,
the
I got a question.
Patterson-Gimlin. A lot of them believe the Patterson-Gimlin film is fake, but they're not going to fucking say anything about it because you just don't go against the grain and ruin your own goddamn meal ticket. Because they're making money off of Bigfoot, and that's fine. That's fine to me. A lot of people get pissed that you make money off of Bigfoot. That was my biggest thing when I first ended up making some money off of Bigfooting. That was the fucking, oh, you made money off of Bigfooting, blah blah blah. Well, fuck. I guess you're gonna make money. If you're good at it, or if people believe in you, you're gonna make fucking money at it or something. So these people that make these bigger players that are self-financed and shit like that are they're holding on to shit, and they show it to each other, but they never put it to the public because of things like this podcast. There's a fucking ton of them. A lot of people get out there and talk shit. This is more one of the milder ones. We share our opinions. We're not trashing nobody. It is what it is. Everybody has their own views. Everybody has their own opinions. Everybody's fine with it. But then you get on some of the other podcasts, and you get to where it's a lot of bashing and trashing. And I've got 3 other pieces of footage. There's no real reason for me at all to put them out. I'm sitting on 3 right now.
Anytime you want to share that with me privately, I'd love to see them.
But that's the problem. See, I shared my shit privately last time before I put it out, and it got out. We had to fucking have it taken off a line and shit. It was actually out a few months before I released it because we didn't have the recreation done. And
I'm definitely
I mean, just as a business.
I'm definitely not
standpoint,
like that.
we didn't show it. But nothing is as good. We haven't captured anything as good as what my father filmed, and You know, even with as good as that footage is, whether you believe it's real or it's not, that's fine. Whatever it is, that footage is pretty solid. And even with that, people still, you know, tear it apart, and that's fine. You know, the next
So did
piece
your
of footage that I release will be will be my scope filming the fucker fall down from the gunshot.
right?
I
Okay.
gotta kill it.
So did
I know a lot of people are against that, but if I
Yeah.
don't have it,
Yeah. Well,
so
let me
did
ask you. Well, let me ask.
let me ask him one quick thing.
Okay.
He was talking about his dad. I always wanted to ask. So was your dad into like the Bigfoot thing, or did he actually catch the infrared on accident, or the FLIR, you know,
uh,
photo on accident?
so so my dad, okay, I've been a musician, okay, that was a big part of my income. We played shows, got paid fairly well, about $1,000 a night, which was fairly
Okay.
fucking good for a local band. We could draw 200-300 people every night, no problem.
Oh yeah.
And when I had Hunter, I straight dropped it. I was like, fuck, I'm not doing that. I'm doing this. I took another job to where I could, you know, not have to work on the weekends and shit like that, so I could be in the woods. And so he seen that I was really into it, and I was telling him, hey man, these fucking things are happening. At the time when I first started, he had cancer, and it wasn't looking good, but then he beat it. And when he got better, he was like, well, you know what, man? I've been in this fucking house for about 6 months now. I'd like to get out there and go in the woods with you, know, hang out. You're my son and shit like that. So we get out there, and him and a buddy of mine named Josh Watson heard a whistle. But it wasn't like, I mean, it was a fucking Bigfoot. When I relate it back to it, it was fucking Bigfoot. Because when that one went off, you heard running, and then it was further away in a matter of a minute. You know, it was like on the next hill over. You know, it had done fucking made some ground. So he got so intrigued, he sold his fucking boat and bought the thermal camera. We had went around and done some bigfooting for a few months with no results at all. And then we're out there. I've been having activity going out this place at Torreya. And I was like, come on, it was a Tuesday night. He called me at work. He's like, hey, man, go bigfooting tonight. He's like, I'll swing by and pick you up. I'll go get you from your house. So he did. We rolled out there. We were just cooking, listening to like some White Zombie, I think, is what we were listening to at the time. And we started hearing knocks. So then we left down this trail, and the palmettos are really high, so it kind of added some cover. And the first thing we heard, like running on this hill, and he looks over to that spot where we heard the running, and it looked like there was a coon on the side of the tree, you know? Couldn't really see it too good, but it was just a black signature on the side of the tree. Well, then it was on both sides of the tree, you know, and he's still not knowing what it is, and he's still not really a Bigfoot believer. And then that fucking thing steps out, and to see somebody, and I got it on tape. I was filming him while he was filming the fucking Bigfoot. To see him actually go from skeptic, because he was a skeptic. He kept my mind from racing, to a full-on believer in the blink of an eye was something that it was pretty fucking amazing, man. It was I mean, it scared the dog shit out of him, and he's an Army Ranger. He don't get scared about much.
Yeah.
But that
what?
scared the dog shit out of him.
Yeah. What was his? I mean, did he tell you?
What's that?
Did he say anything like how? What was his first reaction when he saw it go from one? You know, when he saw it and finally realized it was a real squatch.
He said we gotta go. We got to go. We got to go. And he's running, and I'm following. So I'm thinking it's a cat, right? Because that's like my number one fear in the woods. That's what I'm worried about is a fucking cat. I'm not worried about jack shit else. I'm not worried about the Bigfoot. I'm not worried about nothing. I'm worried about a fucking cat. So and he's like, you got your gun. You got your gun. And I had this big old fucking hog of a 44 Magnum I was carrying at the time, and I pulled it out. And I'm like, what's going on? And then he stopped like when we got to the main trail, and he was like, it was big. It was big. It's just one. We gotta get the fuck out of here, man. This camera's dead. I can't see it. He was flipping out because the camera had died. I mean, like, bam, literally like that. Right after he films it, you see the little bar go out, and it dies. And it would come on for a second, and then it would go right back off. The batteries were shot. And, he was like, we got nothing. We can't see it. We can't see it. This thing was looking right at us. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, I'm starting thinking, are you serious? Don't put me right now. And he's like, no, I'm serious. I'm getting the fuck out of these woods. You can stay here if you want, but I'm leaving. And it was time to he didn't have no way to see. From the there was more one. Before we filmed it, you could hear something to the right of the trail running, and then something on the left of the trail running as well. So, but we only caught the footage of the one, and I should put that out. I had it made into a documentary, and then I got divorced, and the bitch fucking deleted my shit and threw my laptop in the actual pavement. So I lost that, but I think I can remake it.
Does he actually go out anymore, or is it like?
Yeah, but he doesn't do this because people wanted to interview him, people's wanted to talk to him, but that's just not him. He's not in it for what I'm in it for. He's in it, I guess, mainly to help me, but I want my name to go down in history for 200 years. That's my thing. All right, I want people to fucking. I want there to be statues of Stacey Brown.
So, like,
and
are you more?
Fine. That's my goal.
No, that's cool. That's kind of like the way. But like while you were talking earlier, that you said something about night investigations. So, do you feel a night investigation is better than day investigations, and why do you feel that?
If I had to pick, I go out at night, mainly because you're hunting an animal that's for the most part nocturnal. Okay. And I'm not going from reports on BFRO. I'm going from my own fucking experience. These animals don't do a lot in the daytime. They don't, unless you can see that moon during the time. They're not really fucking around during the day. And I think investigation is the best. But if I was to tell you my opinion on how you should Bigfoot, I haven't done jack shit else different than anybody else, or better than anybody else. Is to get out there, take you one day of food, one day.
Yeah.
Find the food source, and then you find the animals, and you stay out there for days. Become a part of the woods. Get to where you actually start smelling like the woods. And that, because kind of going 1 day, 2 day thing is like pissing in the wind. You can't really get a feel for what the fuck's going on, what's in the forest, or what's in your area. Let alone be able to find a fucking Bigfoot.
Right.
So I believe it's more of you need 10 days every time, and that's how I try to do. It's hard. I understand people have issues and jobs and shit like that, and I think it's just far better if you can actually get the amount of time to where you can stay in, and your odds are going to increase. But if you got 1 day, go out at night, hit that fucking major feed time. When that major feed time rolls around, be sitting your ass down by that food source. Be waiting on it, because the small game's going to show up, and then when the small game comes in, then the fucking coyotes are going to come in, and then the shit that eats all the small game's going to come in, and then your Bigfoot show up.
You're
every
right.
time.
You're exactly right.
But there has to be Bigfoots in the area. There has to be Bigfoots in the area. If it's not like, oh, okay, I'm going with it, and Bigfoots are going to come in. There may not be a fucking Bigfoot for 25 miles from you.
Yeah.
You have to. It's kind of like winning the lottery. Your chances are shit. As much as I go out, my success rate of something substantial has to be about 2 to 3%.
All
Yeah,
right.
so,
What do you think about them? Do you think they migrate certain times of the year for maybe breeding purposes, or or something else?
I think maybe because down here in Florida we have a lot of the same temperature around. It's mostly hot, so migration is not going to really be something that's a necessity here for food. Uh, I believe they live in family groups, and then when a younger male comes into where he's wanting to, fucking bang it out, he's gonna go on and challenge another pack. Probably the older male pushes him out at a certain age, and he goes out by himself. He's a loner, and he challenges another pack. And that's why we use the majority of our research. We're trying to draw these things into a confrontation to where we can get within 10 feet of these things.
Yep.
We do grunts. We are, we'll go out and piss when they're in the area and shit. Or if I'm at my camp and over there at the bridges, I'm gonna go around and piss all over the place to let this motherfucker know, hey, I'm king of this hill. And that pisses him off. It's not something that he enjoys. He gets highly frustrated with it. Uh, and
Hey,
and
I'll
then
be
we do
back, guys.
grunts. We're trying to we do grunts and like chest beating and shit, and we're trying to entice this animal into a confrontation that we can win.
Yeah.
You know,
But
and so my goal in all this is to die by the hands of a Bigfoot. And here's the reason. I assume hell has a waiting room, and it's kind of like Beetlejuice. You know Beetlejuice, where they're all sitting there in the lobby.
yep.
Uh, and I want to look over. I want to look over and tell somebody that I died from a Bigfoot, and then them not fucking believe me.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, hold on real quick. I gotta say bye to my babies real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That's cool. Okay. So what do you think so far, Ryan? As far as this interview
Uh,
go, I think it's pretty good, man. I'm waiting for I'm
what
waiting
happened?
for I'm
What
waiting
happened?
for I'm waiting for Richter to come back. I mean, Rick to come back. See what's going on with him and everything. But I think Stacy's got a lot of damn good information there. But why he wants to be killed by a Bigfoot, I'll never know.
Stacy is a wealth of knowledge. He's a hunter like I am, like you are. When you're a hunter, everybody, everybody's got their own motives. You know what I'm saying? Like he wants to kill it. He wants to go down in history. Uh,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. I'm on the fence. I'm back and forth with that. Would I kill one? I, I don't know yet. I really don't know. I said yes before, then I went to no, then I went to yes. So it all depends what you really want. And what happens is the skeptics and the naysayers, they actually push you to that point. When
Yeah.
you get mad, when you get upset, you just want to prove it that much more to everybody.
Yeah.
Um, and that's kind of what happens. So in essence, they're pushing the envelope, saying those kind of things to us, all the time. Oh well, like I stated, we share our little tidbits of information. We don't share the whole scheme of things, the whole plot,
Ex-
everything. They give the opinion, whether it's bad, good, or whatever. But 90% of the time, it's bad, and they'll bash you and come right down on you. But instead, they should be asking you. Believe it or not, I get a lot of women that message me, and they'll be like, "Well, they'll be the ones asking me questions about my evidence, what I've got, what I've shared." The males, the guys,
Good.
all they do, they just run their mouth. Uh,
yeah.
it gets worse and worse every day, and a skeptic is one thing, but what I call an armchair researcher is just somebody that sits there at that keyboard, runs their mouth, and they get mad at people like Stacy and things like that because he's doing good. He's hanging out with Les Stroud. He's really getting out there to hopefully find one, improve one. Um, that's what I do. I'm trying to get out there. That's what you're trying to do. That's what Daniel does. Um, we don't screw around. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, because as like when I go out when I have lay on them come down for the first weekend or the fifth, sixth, and seventh, I'm planning on going back into the research, back into the birthing areas and I'm gonna try a few little odd and ends back there just to see what kind of reaction I get. Because when you go into this area, there's one tree. It's about that big around, about 12 foot up. It's snapped and bent over like that, but it's twisted
Right.
about from like 6 to 3, twisted that far around. And right below it, you got some laurel bush, but you got 4 or 5 logs laying at an angle like this, crossed each other, blocking the view, and it's cleaned out on the inside. But
Right.
I think that's a little playroom. But you go up over the ridge and back down the backside, which is so thick you got to get on your hands and knees to walk through it. That's where the actual birthing area is. I've been back there, but I don't take nobody back there. And the last time I was back there, with we was at the front of it right there where the tree and everything was, and we heard chattering. And then
Right.
then we left that area and went around to the end of the trail, and then we got within 30 yards, well, within 20, 30 yards, we heard, I say it was a juvenile because he was uh, trying to imitate a bird or something, and he was screwing up, and it was really quite fascinating, but the whole time we're walking in, I'm hearing over to my left, I'm hearing something follow us, but I never say a word, you know. And I don't, and especially when you got a girl with you, like you don't want to tell her like, and she'll get scared and screw everything up. So I don't say a word. I've
Right.
taken, I've taken Jennifer Sandberg back behind the camp one day, and we wasn't back there 30 seconds, and I started hearing chattering close, but I never said a word. And she said, "You hear that?" I said, "Hear what?" She said, "You hear that chattering?" I said, "What chattering?" She said, "Over there." So she heard it. And she said, "What are they talking about?" I said, "They're probably talking about you because I got a girl in here. Because I'm 100, well, see, about 99% of the time I'm by myself when I'm in the woods, you know. And as you know, when I
Right.
go in, I'm quiet, but at times I do some off the wall bullshit. And I,
Well,
and I,
you have
and
to
I,
keep it fresh. If you don't change things up, sometimes I believe they're going to get used to. You know what I'm saying? Uh, uh, I don't know. It seems like everybody continues to do the same thing over and over. You know, that's the definition of insanity because they expect different results.
yeah,
Um,
because
but it's like,
everybody wants to hear, "Oh, I want to see a Bigfoot," especially when you got people who's never seen one, like couch potatoes, they've never seen one, and they'll say, "Oh, it's pareidolia." How do you know? Because they say, because I don't see what you're looking at. Then it hits me. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Your brain cannot comprehend what you're looking at. So you're going to say pareidolia, hoping that the conversation ends.
right.
And then you piss them off by saying, well, you're blind as a freaking bat, you know?
Well, yeah, it's a bunch of BS going back and forth bullshit. Um, but
Yeah,
I actually wanted to ask Stacy one more thing. Well,
yeah,
I wanted to comment too, though.
yeah,
Uh,
go ahead.
we've all been in the woods quite a bit. You know, we spend a lot of time out there. We all hunt. We do a little bit of everything. Um, there's this whole thing that's come up in the Bigfoot world. This whole woo factor that's kind of going on, and I'd like to add that I actually have had some experiences that I really can't explain that have happened to us in the woods that we were able to photograph. Uh, you know, some things we've held back, some things we've shared. Uh, we really cannot explain what this supernatural phenomena is that is going on out there. There are a lot of crazy people in the Bigfoot community, but there can't be that many. Um, so
Shit.
what I'm trying to figure out is, have you yourself had any type of supernatural activity happen while you're out looking for Bigfoot? And if you have, uh, what do you think it is, and why do you believe other people are directly correlating the two together? Because it seems that just because I'm out squatching and I have this supernatural event happen, or whatever it may be, they're automatically directly correlating it to Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had your Indians back in the day, okay? They weren't
Right.
stupid. They lived on the land. They knew the land. And for very common things that we have happen today, and that we can easily explain, well, it was supernatural to them. You know what I mean? A lot of the things it was spiritual to them, and it's not that they were wrong. It's just that's how they perceived it. They didn't know no
Exactly.
better. Uh,
Right.
have I had anything? I've seen orbs. I don't know what orbs are. I don't want to go out on that limb and correlate them with the Sasquatch, because I believe if the Sasquatch are coming through portals and becoming orbs and energies and shit like that, then why does a motorist see it? You know,
Exactly.
why I see three of them walk by me? You know, I mean,
Exactly.
it's really a there's a fine line there for, okay, I get what you're saying, but well, you know, they explain all these other things, you know, and it's not stuff that other people had happen. It's stuff that I've had happen that I know damn well it's not a lie. So you can't argue with them. These people are stuck in their ways, and that's fine. Let them be like that. You know, they're gonna talk shit, and it is what it is. But
Can I ask if you said you've seen orbs? Uh, were they blue?
nope, they were red.
The one I got in one of my photographs in the video, I got a pine tree about this big around that's bent completely over a trail, and going in, you know, I go with my thing of coming out. I turned around and took a picture of it. But before I did, I was videoing, and it's just like a regular video. I got home and I did the video, didn't see anything, didn't see anything. About a month or so later, someone said, "Hey, dude, you got an orb in on your picture." So I go
Right.
back. So I go back to that picture, and right in front of the pine tree, about 20 foot, going, you know, like when you go through it, about 20 foot right there in a straight line, there's an orb about big as a baseball, and it was a fluorescent blue. I
Right.
never, I
That's
never,
actually what color we caught also, and that's why I asked Stacy because uh, we spoke with Dr. Johnson, uh, nice guy, whatever. You know, I'm not bashing anybody, but everybody's got their own views. Uh, he's 2,000 miles away from me, and we actually caught some crazy things that he was speaking about in one of our areas. Uh, we were coming down a trail. We cut into the woods. We were actually headed. It would be west over a ridge, and we got to the side of the ridge, and we seen all these lights. The color of the ground kind of lit up. It was like yellow, pink, blue, all these colors. So we decided to snap some photos. When I snapped the photo, you could see what a lot of people are saying. It looks like a small person or somebody with a helmet or some type of being. Uh, so yeah, we've had the supernatural event happen, but we don't directly correlate that to Bigfoot. You
no, I
know,
don't either. You know,
I, I would
because
I would say that uh, you know, from back in the day, there's you hear Indians speak about energy vortexes, that the Earth has these regular energy vortexes that it's all over the planet, ley lines and everything else. But
yeah,
what I believe is Sasquatch could be attracted to those areas because of the high energy.
yeah, because when I saw that, you know, I mean, went back and looked at that video and looked at the photograph. I did see that orb, but me, Sasquatch is nothing but 8 to 10 foot tall of
Flesh and blood.
no pure hell, flesh and blood.
Right.
You know, and I do not, you know, even though behind my camp I picked up paranormal, you know, drumming on a, you know, like two pieces of copper pipe beating on a metal pipe, you know, and I hear it, but I still do not correlate that with Bigfoot. That to me, that is something totally different altogether. You know,
What's your view? You said something earlier, Stacy, about oh hell, something about motorists. So if we take that into the hoaxing realm, as far as hoaxes go, uh, do you feel that you're more likely to be hoaxed off in the woods, or a motorist driving down the street, uh, as far as hoaxing goes?
The majority of hoax, because I've had a few people, I'd say probably 20 to 30, try to pull one over on me. It happens all the time. A few times a year we get somebody who's got this fantastic story and they're trying to pull one over on you. The majority of them hoaxes are going to happen, right where it's easy access. You know what I mean? They're never way out in the middle of the fucking woods, and we get the stories where they are way out in the middle of the woods, and the guy just don't want to fucking take you back there. He'll write the shit down, give us a location, and he ain't going back his ass in there.
I've had that. I've had
Somebody
that
that's
happen.
hoaxing, they're not gonna go to great lengths and sit way out in the middle of the fucking woods and wait on you. So if you consider the video or whatever somebody has as a hoax, it has to be an inside job. They have to. If they're way out in the woods, the person who's filming it knows exactly who that is if it's a hoax. Because you go way out in the fucking woods and you're wearing a suit and you're just waiting on somebody to come up there, you're going to be there a long fucking time. People don't get out in the woods like, one would think. Maybe during hunting season they're in the woods, but it's not like they're out there all the time. They're living out there, shit, So,
Even during hunting season, most guys are only
become kind of
500
dumbed
yards
down
off
and
the road.
civilized. We don't have that land anymore, and
Yeah,
so
not. Yeah,
I guess if somebody's hoaxing you, they're going to be hoaxing you close to a road, so
yeah,
they ain't got to
not.
walk far out of their car.
Yeah,
Uh,
not. Yeah, now I
Bingo.
can. Yeah, now I can tell you in my area, on the Blue Ridge Parkway and Appalachian Trail, we have a lot of hikers who hike the Appalachian Trail. And there's a restaurant in Waynesboro called Wheezy's Kitchen. I thought it was Wheezy's Kitchen. And that's where they come and eat. And they saw my Jeep one day, and I was in there, and they asked who Jeep was. So it was mine. And then they said, you really look for Bigfoot? I said, yeah. And they start telling me stories of what they've seen on the Appalachian Trail. Just different things that happened to them. A couple of them said, seen them, and I said I would describe them, and they described them down to a T. So another source of people you can talk to, who are actually out on that Appalachian Trail. But like Stacy said, and you said, 95 to 100% of the hoaxes you get are less than 30 to 40 yards off the road from a car.
Yeah, I believe 90% of your hoaxes are the motorists passing by. I don't believe a guy is off 2 miles in the woods waiting in a damn suit to put tracks down or be there and say, hey, I'm gonna walk out while this other fucking guy, researchers out over there, looking for Sasquatch. He's not jumping out. It's the guy waiting on the side of the road to pass by when a car or whatever it is comes. But I wanted to ask, since it's really hot in Florida, what color are the squatches down there?
Well, it varies. I get reports of a white one right here around my house. I say
Oh,
around
that's
my house,
cool.
I'm talking about 10, 15 miles away in the
Wow.
Apalachicola National Forest. Black ones, and then the majority are more described like an orangutan color. And see, that's the problem with Florida, is that it actually could be a fucking orangutan. It could be a
Yeah,
chimpanzee. We got a picture on our game cam back in January of a fucking tailless macaque, a monkey, and
yeah,
that was in Goethe and Dunellen, and we actually came up upon about 50 of them in the woods at night. We were whooping, and they whooped back at first, and then the trees just came alive. So down here in Florida, some of these people could really be seeing chimpanzees or orangutans, and that's a very good possibility. A lot of animals got released during different hurricanes that have came through the state,
yeah,
and these animals hit Florida. It's fucking nice climate, nice environment for them. They're gonna thrive out here. It's not somewhere like if an orangutan got loose in Washington, it would fucking starve to death and die. It's
Yeah,
cold as
'cause I
fuck.
know. Yeah, 'cause I know I seen a picture. Someone put a picture up about a year or so, maybe 2 years back, out her back. It was in Florida somewhere, but out her back porch patio. She took a picture of to me, it looked like an orangutan that that his hair done growed and got matted up
That
and
actually
everything.
was a hoax. That actually, I investigated that. That was a hoax. I never made a video
Okay.
about it. There's a guy in Sarasota that owns it's kind of like a museum, right? So you go into this one room, and the museum is overgrown, like forest in there, like swampland, like Florida, and there's
Yeah.
even stars on the ceiling and shit. And there's that orangutan.
So
You know what I
okay.
mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know about it, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but
'Cause I
yeah,
was.
I mean, there's a FWC report from right over by I-10 over at Osceola National Forest. The FWC officer reported, and he said it was an orangutan.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, I was wondering about that because I mean it looked too perfect.
Oh hell yeah, it did.
You earlier you said you spoke with what's his face there, Meldrum. So obviously you had some discussion with him. As far as like the footprint situation, what do you think? He had stated something about a mid-tarsal break or a flexation, which he later changed. Uh, what do you think about that? Like, is that just a whole theory, or is he the end all be all with the footprint situation?
A lot of people consider him the end all be all. For the simple fact, I mean, he's a well respected guy. He does have a solid theory. The majority of the tracks he has. You got my lighter? Are you serious? Anyways, a lot of people. He's got a ton of tracks. I've been to his lab a few times. I've seen everything he's got. So he has reason to back his theory up, and it would make sense if these creatures that have longer arms are wanting to climb these trees. They can simply hook it with their fucking arms and then walk right up it because their foot bends. But then
Yeah.
again, we don't have a dead one to so it's pretty much just a theory. He's his theory around. Uh, but ultimately, it's just a theory until there's a corpse. We're not going to be able to dissect it to know that. So uh, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. And there's a few things he looks for in tracks that he doesn't tell the general public. So he knows when he gets a hoax. There's a
Okay.
certain size dimension to these tracks.
Yeah.
If it's not right, uh, then it's not real. There's no variation.
Yeah.
Really?
I've seen real tracks. Yeah, and it's kind of a map. You have to think the foot's going to have
Yeah.
to be so fucking wide to support an animal of that weight.
Right. What do you think about the tracks of a juvenile? Like I got uh back beginning when it started getting warm, well, about a week before turkey season come in, before April 9th, I found a 5 inch footprint that looked almost human. Now, how do you think the footprint works for a juvenile, as far as the way it looks and the everything like that?
Gotcha. The juvenile that we got tracks from, and you have to look for the area you're in. Okay, if you're right by a road or a campsite, you're gonna pretty much just have to chalk it up that it's human, no matter what it looks like, uh, because that's an area people are gonna be in. When we're way in the swamp and we find 5 inch, 6 inch tracks uh, that are barefoot tracks, what parents
Yeah.
letting their kids run around in this snake infested fucking swamp barefoot? You have to kind of use logic on some of it. Uh, but there's no variance in the bigger track. It's not like the littler track is any different. It's just smaller.
Yeah, because I
But it has
found
the same. If it's a true track, it has the same exact width dimension, and
right,
everything lines up.
right, because I found a 5-inch track, a 7-inch track. Those two look familiar. Those two look the same, except one was longer. Then I found I assume it was the female track. It was a 9-inch track. Had a small heel, kind of where the toes, where the foot kind of comes up and kind of comes up like that, and it had a short, big toe. But it was little, but it wasn't shaped like a regular human's foot. It's kind of a little odd, like one toe on the left foot was longer than any of the rest of them.
You know,
And I
you're gonna have to look into things of like inbreeding, uh,
yeah,
birth defects. Does the Bigfoot mother drink? Does she smoke crack? These things can
time,
these,
yeah,
but no, for real. Birth defects, inbreeding. They can cause those physical characteristics to be different. To sometimes it have a short toe or a fucking extra toe.
yeah,
Things of that nature. A foot that's just fucked up. So you have to look. It's not like there's a ton of Bigfoots out there. So there has to be some inbreeding going on.
yeah. Because we talked to Claudia Ackley last night, and she said she found it was a big track, but it only had 3 toes on one foot. So yeah, I consider that would be inbreeding. Now it could be because my
Yeah,
area,
and then it also could be injuries.
yeah,
The same track we keep finding out here has a certain scar on it.
right.
I've got that casted, and that's how I can tell which Bigfoot it is. There's a certain scar on the left foot.
Ah, okay.
Uh, but that goes back to, y'all talked a lot earlier about people trashing you and stuff, and
Oh
if you
yeah.
if you put your shit out, it's gonna get trashed. So it's not worth it. It's not worth my time. I know what I'm looking at, and I'm when I have my DNA, then all my shit comes out.
Yeah,
Then all my other stuff has weight to it. You know what I mean?
yeah. Because a lot of people ask me, why ain't you casting tracks anymore? I said, I don't need to. I mean, I got one track here. It's 13 and a quarter, 3/4 inches long. And that's the only one I got. I mean, if I see a track when I'm videoing, I video it, and that's about as far as it goes. So
Yeah.
casting really don't mean a thing to me anymore. But
What do you what do you think as far as not to change the subject off cast, but like shelters, or how do they sleep, or where do they sleep? Because I know different regions are different. I don't know, you guys probably don't have caves down there, but
good
uh,
question.
where do you think they sleep in your area?
It's gonna be close to water. Okay, dude, it's so fucking hot down here. I mean, you're talking about 100 degrees during the summer on average, and it's like 90% humidity. It's fucking hot and miserable.
Yeah,
So
it is.
anything is not going to be far from the water, and then so they're going to look for some type of cover, a palmetto thicket, something they can get in and lay down in, and doesn't know nothing, anything know it's there. It's going to be kind of like a hog, they just bed down. If it rains down here, unless it's just like severe thunderstorms, that's probably a relief. They probably don't seek a whole lot of cover for it, because I know when I'm in the woods and it fucking pours down rain, unless I'm like under a tornado warning or some shit, I'm not looking to get up under anything. I'm kind of standing out and enjoying myself, because the second it stops raining, it gets like a fucking sauna. It gets
Uh
right
huh.
back hot again.
Yeah. Do
And
you?
you
Do,
don't have to, like, a cave's going to give you access away from the snow, away from the cold. Once again, these are things we don't have problems with most of the time. So, sleep where you land, and what's comfortable, I guess.
yeah.
But it's got to be close to water, in some thick bush.
Yeah. Do you ever get the smell of methane in there too? Methane gas?
Like the rotten egg smell. The
Yes.
rotten egg smell.
Yeah. Somewhere around that effect. Like when
Yeah.
alligators waller or hogs waller. They got a place that they that they made. It's kind of like in the ground, like underneath a root system or something, where it's still swampy, but it's of height, it's a place they can get, they can lay down and bed down, And I talked to somebody before down there that said when they go in the swamp and they find uh, spots like that, they say like you're going out looking for hogs, they said they get a methane smell. So I guess that would be rotten egg smell too. I'm not sure.
One of the
Well, you
last
have to
questions.
get
Go ahead.
the swamps put off a gas, and so you do get some of that smell, but you can tell. I don't associate that to the Bigfoot. The Bigfoot has a stank ass smell at times.
Right.
It's almost like it's a scent gland they put off, almost I guess like a skunk would, or I think a gorilla does it as well. Uh, so I think that's when people, when they startle a Bigfoot, that may be when they smell it. But besides that, they just fucking naturally stink because they're in the woods all the goddamn time. It's like a
Yeah.
hog. Every time we catch hogs, them fuckers is rank, dude.
Oh,
They
I can
stink.
imagine.
Uh,
Yeah.
the you said something earlier about theories. I was trying to get your whole theory about Sasquatch and kind of like the whole evolutionary uh, idea. Where do you think they fit in? What do you think they? I mean, you said I think that they're an ape most likely of some sort. Do you think they're related to Gigantopithecus, or what type of where do they fit in the evolutionary chain?
I think they're that one piece. Okay, you have your creationists, your people believe in God. That's fine. A lot of them relate these things to being a Nephilim. Then you have your evolutionists who have this theory of evolution. Well, where a certain thing is evolved to the next thing. Well, there's a problem with the evolution thing, as in we have that missing link. Unless that missing link is found, then you can fuck all on your damn evolution theory because it doesn't hold no weight. You're missing a serious part of the chain. I believe there probably are the closest ape to mankind. Maybe they're a watered down version. It would make sense that, to me, when the humans, when people crossed the land bridge there, to come into America, that these creatures, these Gigantopithecus or whatever, didn't follow them across because they were hunting along the way as they went,
Yeah.
and I'm sure they would follow them down, and then they kind of infiltrated the America, the southern parts and that. So I think the evolution theory probably holds more weight to me. But I'm thinking Bigfoot is that missing link. Bigfoot's probably the apex ape. He's top of the line. And then we evolved maybe from them. We got smarter and lost strength. Something that we didn't need because our brains function at a higher capacity or whatnot.
Yeah.
So you lose strength in that, I guess, because you didn't need all the strength. We could figure out tools and shit of that nature. So you didn't have to be strong enough to rip off a fucking door or move a big ass rock. You could figure out something to get it done. So I think if Bigfoot's ever discovered, that's where it will fit. It will fit in that one spot, that missing link that then ties the whole evolutionary chain together. And proves that theory. That's my thoughts. It
Yeah.
could be wrong. I'm just a fucking dude from the South. I'm not really educated in that kind of shit, but that's
Heck
my
yeah.
personal beliefs on it.
No,
Uh,
yeah, we like to get everybody's opinion. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah. So, what is your plans for the next 6 months on your researching? Um, what are your plans on how you going to try any new tricks, or are you just going to keep doing the same thing, or what for our audience?
I think he's talking to Stacy, right?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear y'all. I lost y'all for a second.
Oh, I was saying, what is your plans for the next 6 months a year? Are you gonna continue doing the same thing, or are you just gonna kind of freshen it up and try some new tricks or whatever or stuff like that?
Well, you know, I've the majority of the time I'm going out and I'm staying for about 8 to 10 days. Okay.
Yeah.
When I meet up with my team, we're doing like 3 or 4 days, just like everybody else, you know, because a lot of these guys have work issues. But this summer we're going to the research spot, and we're just gonna stay for 30 days, and we're gonna squatch it for 30 days. We're gonna set things around that house. They come to that house. I'm gonna stay in the woods at my camp that's out there, and we're just gonna, you know, stay for 30 days. Because when you're there for 2 or 3 days, uh, my personal opinion is you're pissing in the wind. You're not there enough. They may not come in to that area in 2 or 3 days, but they
Right.
may come in there within 30 days. Most likely, out there, they're gonna be there a few times a week. It's are you there when they're there? So we're
Yeah.
just gonna stay there for a fucking while so we can have our activity increase and just be ready. I mean, we've got all the tools of the trade, the thermals, the night visions, the audio equipment, the camera
Right.
system.
Right.
You know, we just have really not sat out there and made a consolidated effort uh, to a long period of time, and that's what we want to do. Uh, but we're gonna move along this state. We've got a big thing we're planning in Jennings State Forest, as well as a few other areas that are kind of hot spots in the state, and it just involves staying for long periods of time.
Right. Right. Right.
And that's
Oh.
how it's gonna have to be done. I mean, and that you may swing out and miss with that shit too.
My last question.
Uh,
My last question is, what gun are you gonna shoot it with?
what's that now?
What gun are you gonna shoot it with? What do you
I have a
carry? What gun do you
300 Win
prefer?
Mag.
300. I shoot a 270, but yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a funny story. I'll let y'all in on, since I'm a guest and I haven't talked about this. I almost killed one of my team members. Uh,
Oh.
Wow.
yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna explain this shit. This was like a big deal because like I like literally about shot him. So we were using them as bait and we didn't tell them. Okay.
Oh.
So me and my buddy are on the next hill over and sitting tucked in a log, a fucking big ass log. And so we're listening, and they're not supposed to leave the camp, but they leave the camp. The one guy leaves the fucking camp. So we're hearing snaps, right? And it's coming towards us, you know, and I'm like, oh shit, is that a Bigfoot, you know? And you're hearing bipedal walking. And then you see this image. You see this human-like figure. And he's far enough away on my thermal that I can't make out his clothes yet. So he reaches up in a tree, no shit, and breaks a limb, and then walks off from it. I'm like, holy fuck! And my buddy's looking at it, David Lauer, and he's like, shoot it, fire, fire, fire. He's like, put the target down, target down, target down. You know, and I'm sitting here trying to process, should I fucking shoot this thing? And then he reaches down and picks up a stick off of the ground and smacks it up a tree. Smacks it up against the side of the tree. He's like, Stacy, just did a fucking wood knock. Shoot it. Shoot it. Shoot it. Every few seconds, he's like, shoot it. Shoot it. Give me the gun. I'll shoot it. Shoot it. Shoot it. And then he fucking sticks his hand in his pocket. And that was the only thing that saved his life. I almost shot that motherfucker right then. I mean, I literally, another 10 seconds, I'd have killed him.
Wow.
Damn.
And you never told anybody
Uh,
that? That's crazy. That's amazing.
what the? What's that? I'm sorry,
I,
you
s-
broke up.
I said you never told anybody that? That's crazy.
What'd you say? I couldn't hear you, man.
I said you never told anybody that. That's crazy.
I never told nobody in the public. We all have a sit around and talk about it all the fucking time. I love the guy to death. I would have hated to bury him right there.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Right there,
breaking.
sure wouldn't have fucking told nobody. I was the one
That,
that told his wife.
that's definitely breaking news. I tell you that. Holy shit.
Yeah, big time. Okay, we're
You know,
winding
it
down to
was
about. Yeah, we're
it was
winding
one of
down.
them things, dude. You're in when you, and that's why I only work for a few people, with a few people. If I tell you, hey, don't leave your fucking camp, don't leave your fucking camp. I'm not
Yeah,
telling you
exactly.
what I'm doing. They don't need to know
Right.
what I'm out there doing.
Yeah.
But don't leave your
Okay.
fucking camp. And I shot him. So
Yeah. Heck yeah. Okay, we're down to the last 4.5, 5 minutes. Daniel, you got one last question for Stacy before we shoot off the air?
Mm, well, not right offhand, except for would you ever consider coming up and maybe joining us one time, for a little expedition up here in Virginia?
yeah, dude, Virginia. I've got one of my best friends of all time lives in fucking Virginia, and I've been meaning to get up there and fucking see him. And so that definitely looks like a possibility. There's a thing I'm working on right now that mm, is going to put me in Virginia doing a different type of monster hunt.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
maybe then I'd be definitely down with it. You know, it's just more or less right now I'm trying to wrap this movie up, and I've got to film a few shows. I'm gonna do Les Stroud's doing a few more episodes of Survivor Man Bigfoot. I'm gonna do one of those with him. So I
Awesome.
may have a few scheduling things here and there, but fucking besides that, dude, that sounds like a blast. And if you wouldn't mind, I bring a few of my team members. You know, they
Yeah.
can carry their own weight, so it's not like
Yeah.
the
That'd be good,
majority of
man.
our group is Army vets, dude. Besides our cooks, the majority of our guys are Army vets, and that's
That's
really the only people that I like to work with. They work good in the team aspect. That it's somebody that can, you know, not have their own opinions and go rogue on you. They can sit back and, you know, we can all come up with a plan, and then everybody can execute it.
yeah. That sounds like a
So,
plan to me, man. Sounds good. Ryan.
What's up, Chief?
Okay, one last question before we drop the bomb. We got about a minute and a
yeah,
half left.
Well, I was just going to ask him. You said your crew that you got. How big is your crew?
it's small, brother. We're looking at like 9 people, maybe. We got a new guy, new vet that's he's really about it. He just got out of I think he had spent I've yet to talk to the guy, but he's went through one of my other guys because I don't answer the phones anymore because I'll get people calling just to want to talk to me, which is kind of it's cool unless it's like 2 o'clock in the fucking morning, you know.
Yeah.
So I have a guy that answers our phones, and there's a vetting process. But this guy like just got out of like 9 years in Afghanistan or some shit, and
Sweet.
you know he's a young guy, he's a vet, and that's something that's close to our group's heart. Uh, you know, so
Last question.
we're
Don't-
looking. Let me see. I'll count TV, Glenn. We're looking like 9, 10 people, man.
That's cool.
That's cool. And don't forget to send me the new Stacy Brown T-shirt. I see you promoting those, brother.
Oh, for my band, yeah. And see, that's another thing. I'm going on tour this summer.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Send me one too, man. I'll pay
Hell
for
yeah.
it. Yeah.
well,
Uh,
dude, if
Yeah.
y'all
Hey,
wreck it,
I'm.
I'll fucking send it. Our new album's about to drop.
Yeah, I
uh,
like your music though. I listen to. It's been a little while, but I've listened to some of your music videos and stuff. You guys really rock. I like that.
Appreciate
So
it, man.
yeah.
That's what I was doing before Bigfoot, you know. And then I had a Bigfoot experience, and it changed my life. And music's something I really love. And then like a guy that joined my group, he was always about, hey man, come on and jam with me. I'm kind of good on the guitar. Well, this fucking dude played the guitar with me, and he's literally like Zach Wild good. You know, I mean, he's like one of the best guitar players I've ever heard. And so I was like, okay, we'll do an album. You fucking dick. You know. So,
yeah.
but yeah, we're gonna tour up the East Coast. So hell, who knows? Maybe I'll catch a show.
Yeah, that's sweet. Definitely.
Okay. Cool. Okay, folks. Stacy,
Well, brothers, I appreciate y'all having me on, man. I gotta run, but
I
I
thank you.
thank y'all for
I,
having me on, and
I thank you
let's
for
do
Awesome,
it again
coming
man.
on.
sometime.
Okay.
Later,
Well, you
brother.
behave yourself. Tell your family I said hi. Peace out and everything.
I'll
All
be
right,
in
Ladies,
touch.
okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for this evening. I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Fred Caney, Valley Bigfoot and Inside Virginia Squatch. You want to see my YouTube? Go to Freddy 59100. Daniel Benoit, his YouTube channel is ECBRO98. And Ryan, what's yours?
Mine's Western New York Prepper.
All right, you heard it, folks. Y'all have a good one and good night.